here at Power Mods. We are working on this axle, this demon axle. I busted the boot on it, my bad. It happens. We've gone through 3 boots this summer already, and it's, the only person to blame is a beaver. It's the beavers with those sticks all sharpened, bam, off the boots go. So we showed you how to remove an axle properly for most applications. Of course, somebody on the YouTube there has to remind me that there is always an exception to the rule, and you've heard me say it here today that there always is an exception to the rule. So I'm going to remove this part of the axle. You can see this is the inner part that goes to your diff, and it moves out. As the axle goes up and down, there's some movement in there, bing bang, right? The outer one that goes into your wheel hub and into your tire holds everything on. There's really no movement in that. This is held on by a circlip. I'm going to show you what I do to remove it. Now inside there, on that spline shaft, is one of these little clips. Sometimes when you have a really hard time getting it out, it's because that clip is sort of moved off center and it just doesn't want to align. But all I'm going to do is just move that up and down a few times. I splash that inside of that out with some degreaser, just so we can hopefully get it in one shot here. Nope. 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 Make a liar out of me. Gotcha. See if what happened, what I figured happened. So there. Half the clip. So what happened was it jumped out of the groove in there, got itself caught up. They don't always do that. Usually they come out quite easily, but that one didn't. So inside here now we have half a circlip and dirt because the boot's been broken. We've been driving through swamps. So now we want to open this up and get this all cleaned out. See that? Now that we've got the axle shaft out, or the middle shaft or intermediate shaft or whatever you want to call it, we should be able to just rotate this bugger. There we go. Collect our balls. Move the cage over too, and it'll rock out for you. There you go. There we go. That's what I was looking for right there. That little piece of metal, there might be another piece in there yet. We had to work that thing pretty hard, eh, Simon? Yeah, well that's exactly what happened. That clip just sort of popped out, and then you have to just shear it off. There's no way to get it back in, and that's kind of why I jiggle it around. I want it to sort of, I sort of jiggle it around when it's in there, and hopefully it'll sort of center itself, because if you look here, this just sort of turns sideways and comes out. Which one does it roll out on? Here. You can see some are sort of rounded. This one's more square and flat. So take that, push that through there, and it'll pop out. This is the inner side here. And what you want is, you want that circlip to sort of punch in or roll in around there when you're trying to take it off. There's a little chamfered edge on that edge of the spline there. So it'll help guide it in. This is the side that goes out. Could be some dirt in here too. Let's get that all out of there. Everything's clean. I just popped this axle back in. Some guys get scared when this axle pops out if they're pulling it off. I mean, that's what we were talking about before. You can find it. You just need to play around. It took me about, what, 60 seconds to figure out where that was, Simon? Yeah. And we did it. We're gonna load this up. Nice and clean, right? So there are two sides to this cage here. There's a wider, flatter side, and then there's a beveled edge side. The beveled edge side is the side that's out. There are two sides to this little star-shaped gizmo. I don't know what we call that. You can see that this is very narrow in here, almost like a little bit of a knife edge. That's the outside. And this is also chamfered in here, so you can get that circlip in and just sort of pop it in easier. It's got a flange on the on this side here, and that side is in. So it's like that. Now, we discussed this earlier. There's a little oval shaped hole, and then there's a rectangular hole. Use the square window. Bam, down it goes. See the square window there? Align it with a hole. Roll it in. That's it. Just start putting your balls back in place, boys. There you go. Get on there, boot. Squeeze that grease into that hole. There's a lot of space in there to fill. I'm just squeezing it. It should just be the right amount. Once the shaft goes in there and takes up all that room, it's going to actually fill that up. Okay, so everything is on. We got our clip. That, I think we're good to go, eh, Simon? Yeah. So here's my little trick. Take a little bit of grease, put it around this clip. And you can squeeze it in around it, but then center the clip. Otherwise it'll hang off low like that and it won't go on. It'll sort of get bound up like it did trying to come off. So I just center that circlip on there. I'm trying to do this. There we go. That's it. So there's a little groove in the axle here, and there's a little corresponding bump in this boot. And it sort of fits right in there. Helps keep it in place. There. So you get that to the tightest setting that you can. Then use your little clamp tool. All the way down. It's all the way down? Does it look good? I can't see. Just give her one of those. And she'll be clamped. Clamped. Booted. That's what you call rebooting. Before I go anywhere, I got to tell you guys to keep coming back. Make sure you check us out online. Friday nights at 9 o'clock, I'm going to try to have a live feed on YouTube. Make sure you check it out. And you can ask me all kinds of questions that are clean. And we're going to go for a well-deserved rip. We need a rip. Let's get this thing installed, Simon. Check us out on Facebook, on the Instagram. Check out our website, www.powermods.com. We can sell you all this stuff. We got it all. All right, let's do it, Simon.